the business podcast that shows you that building a business doesn't have to be that tough, and we do it with no fluff with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. And today is part 2 of our 3-part lesson on how to create an online course. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, guys, make sure you listen to yesterday's episode. We talked about how to create the actual course, how to outline, how to define the purpose, how to script it, how to name the course, shooting and editing the actual course itself. If you're all listened up, let's jump into part 2, today's lesson on delivering your course, how to use the right platform to actually give access to your buyers, how to host your videos, how to have a community forum or Facebook group, which one to choose, as well as how to charge for your course. What payment processor do we recommend? As always, we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time, so let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA show is sponsored by Webinar Ninja Live, the first national webinar conference in sunny San Diego on September 26th. Learn from the masters of webinars like New York Times bestseller Michael Port, as well as John Lee Dumas, Clay A. Baer, Kate Erickson, Jason Zook, Mario Brown, Grant Baldwin, myself, Nicole, and a whole lot more. Learn everything from marketing your webinar to teaching and selling on one at the beautiful Museum of Photographic Arts Theater in San Diego. Get your early bird ticket now for only $95 at webinarninja.co/live. That's webinarninja.co/live. In part 2 of this lesson, we're going to go over actually delivering your course. So you have your course created now, and we're assuming this is a video course. I mentioned in part 1 yesterday that this could be a text course if you want, a written one, but we're going to assume it's video. So now you got your videos are saved on your computer. What do you do with them? Now, whether this course is paid or free, and I'm assuming this is paid, but even if it's free, you need to make sure your videos are secure. Meaning that if you host your videos on YouTube, people can simply click on the YouTube logo on the video and it'll go right to YouTube so they can share the video with anybody they want. It's not secure. So even if your link is private or your videos are behind a paywall or a membership script where they have to use a username and password, the video needs to be private as well. It needs to be secure. Now, we have an episode on choosing a video host here on the $100 MBA show. We go into detail of all the different choices you have. We'll put that in today's show notes. You can visit that by clicking on the cover art if you're on your iPhone. If you're on your computer or any browser, just go to 100mba.net/MBA326. But I'm just going to give you our recommendation. We recommend Wistia. We find them to be the best video hosts out there if you're delivering a course. There are some other options that I mention in that other episode, so you could take a look at those. But you now need to upload your videos to something like Wistia. You can't just upload them to your website. You need a video host. And then you need to embed these videos on the pages you're delivering the course. So step 1 is to upload all your videos to the actual video host like Wistia. So we talked about pages of this course. How are you going to deliver this course? Now, obviously, in order for people to access this securely, they should have a username and password. How's that even done? You have a few options here. The first option is the easiest option, the simplest option for delivering a course online. And it's a platform called Teachery by my buddy Jason Zook. I've taken courses on Teachery, and it's really, really easy to use. They have all different kinds of plans. They even have a free plan that you can try out. And they actually integrate everything from putting your course together to actually charging for your course. So they actually integrate with Stripe, the payment processor we recommend, and we'll get into that in a bit. But the point is that you need a place, a secure place where your buyers can sign in with a username and password so they can consume your course. So if you're not a techie person, if you don't want to put a lot of design effort into it, if you just want to have your course up there and start selling, we recommend Teachery. If you are a techie person and you want to build your own little thing and you want to incorporate it in your own website and you're running on WordPress, we recommend taking a look at OptimizePress. We talked about OptimizePress last week, But Optimize Press also comes with a membership script so people can become a member and get a username and password and all that stuff. Now, this is not for the non-techie. Optimize Press does have a learning curve. They have tutorials, but it is overwhelming if you're not somebody who's very familiar with WordPress and how themes work, how plugins work. If this is something that's going over your head right now, then don't go with this option. Go with something simple like Teachery. All right, so now you've uploaded your videos, you have a place to deliver the course, you're now designing the pages in Teachery or Optimize Press, whatever you choose. These are the pages where the actual course content is going to be. Now what? You need some sort of payment integration on your sales page. Now, if you're using Teachery, you don't have to worry about anything. They integrate with Stripe, so it's nice and easy. Optimize Press also integrates with other payment processors like PayPal and Stripe and others. But the point here is that you need to choose a payment processor so people can use a credit card to pay for your course, and that processor can deposit the money into your bank account after they've taken their fees. Again, we have a special episode just on that, choosing a payment processor. We'll put it into today's show notes. Make sure you check that out. We recommend Stripe. We think Stripe is the easiest, the fastest way to accept money. It's also great for refunds, and you may have a few refunds when you're selling anything. And Stripe makes it super easy for you to refund your customers' money. Now remember that this process where you're checking out, this is all happening from the sales page. We'll talk about that tomorrow. You're going to check out, and then they go into their membership where it's all secure. Now remember, the payment processor step is like the middleman. You have the sales page, we'll talk about tomorrow. Then you have payment that gets processed. And then after that is behind the paywall is the membership pages where you consume the course. The reason why this is important because whenever you're choosing your platform, whether it's Teachery or Optimize Press or whatever you're using to deliver your course, make sure it integrates with a payment processor that you like, whether that's PayPal or Stripe. Again, we recommend Stripe, but make sure the one that you choose, whatever it is, integrates with your actual platform. Because if it doesn't, then you're going to have a hard time getting people their username and passwords after checkout. Guys, we have one more thing I want to cover with you in today's lesson, and that's building a community aspect in your course. Do you go with a forum? Do you go with a private Facebook group? We'll talk about that in a bit. But before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, Single Grain. As an entrepreneur, I can tell you one of the hardest things that we had to face is hiring the right people. Large companies like Facebook, Google, and Apple, they all face this problem. Successful companies are not really worried about sales and marketing. They're really worried about who they bring on board into their company. Why does hiring have to be so hard? It seems like every business, every startup I know struggles to get this right at some point. That's why Eric from Single Grain created the A-Player Hiring Blueprint after he lost close to $1 million on one bad hire. Today, he's giving away a free resource he called 403 Rock-Solid Interview Questions to help you find top talent. To get the resource, just text 403-BOOK to 33444. You'll get the resource emailed to you directly, and it's 100% secure and your data will be protected. That's 403-BOOK to 33444. You'll get the epic resource, but get it now because it's only available for a limited time. Building a community around your course is not only great for you as a business, but it's also awesome for your actual students. They get to learn from each other. They get to share experiences. They also get to get feedback from one another. In our $100 MBA Training and Community, we have a great community around the courses. A lot of people love the community forum. They love our Facebook group. We have a community aspect within Webinar Ninja too. Even though Webinar Ninja is not a course in and of itself, it's a software, but we have courses in there. And we do webinars and we do training. And the community is so thriving because they really, really enjoy learning from one another. So I highly recommend you incorporate some community aspect. You have a couple choices. I highly recommend you get started with a private Facebook group. It's free, and people are always on Facebook anyway. And when they're on Facebook, they'll get notifications for your private group. It's a great way to get started with this idea of a community aspect. If you want to take things to the next level, if you feel like you want to do something completely private and a little more organized in terms of threading all the topics, a community forum may not be a bad idea. A lot of great online courses I've seen have used a private forum to organize conversations. We have one in the $100 MBA, and we use a platform called IP Board. In a lot of ways, it's kind of familiar. It has a lot of functionality like Facebook, but it's a little bit more powerful. And again, a forum, you could thread topics. You can find topics easily. But the downside is there is a learning curve. With the Facebook group, everybody knows how to use Facebook, so there is no learning curve. It's your choice. You could try out the Facebook group, see how it goes. If it thrives, great. Keep going with it. If you want to try the forum out, that's a good idea too. But my advice, if you're just getting started, go with a private Facebook group because it's a minimal maintenance in terms of the software itself, and it's minimal learning curve for your users. All right, guys, that wraps up today's lesson, part 2 of this 3-part course. Don't forget, tomorrow's part 3, the final part of this lesson on how to create an online course. We're going to be talking about marketing and selling your course, talk about your sales page or sales video, how to create a mini course to lead into the paid course, how to use webinars to sell your course, as well as partnering up with other people so you can maximize sales for your online course. Thank you so much for listening to the $100 MBA Show. We really appreciate all the rating and reviews we get on iTunes. And we also appreciate the fact that you subscribe to the show. Guys, if you haven't clicked on the subscribe button yet, make sure you do so you get all our episodes automatically. That way you never miss a beat. There'll be a lesson waiting for you on your device when you're ready. All right, guys, I want to leave you with this. The reason why we broke up this lesson into 3 parts is because obviously we have a lot of content, but it's also not to overwhelm you. If you're serious about creating an online course, take each of these lessons at a time. Make sure you go through each one, you complete the tasks, and then you move on to the next one. Whenever you have a large project like this that seems like it's a lot of steps and there's a lot of things to deal with, break them into micro goals. It's a whole lot easier when you break things down. And you may want to use the order and the grouping that we use for this 3-part lesson to make things easier. All right, guys, I hope that helps. Hope to see you in tomorrow's lesson, part 3 of this epic lesson. I'll see you guys then. Take care.